Okay, today we're talking about little Jane and little Johnny. Yes, many of us out there have the little Jane and little Johnny, middle schoolers, high schoolers. That's kind of the age group that I'm talking about, but I want to include the elementary kids as well. Listen, I'll get right to the point. Some of the little Janes and Johnnies are little deviants. They're little buttholes. I get the wonderful opportunity to work with tons of middle schoolers and high schoolers from a coaching perspective. But, and most of the kids are great. But I'm telling you right now, moms and dads, we need to develop some non-negotiables, and you got to start watching. We have to make sure we keep an eye on how our kids treat others. And I'm telling you right now, anything other than constant focus on lifting others up, shining the little light on others, supporting others, never freaking bullying. That's got to be non-negotiables. My kids know it's non-negotiable. We were at the middle school the other day, and yesterday actually, my daughter's open house, 7th grade. We live in a nice area, Cedar Park. And I know some kids come from broken homes. Some kids have a mom and a dad, strong relationship, two parents at home. Some kids have broken home, and that one parent, if they have one, is working real hard. So there's so many different situations. So there's tough. What I'm about to say here is tougher on certain families. It is. I'd be stupid to say it otherwise. But here I am. I were at the middle school yesterday, and I love watching from afar. My kids especially, but all kids. My wife and my daughter are walking side by side, and they're talking. They're going through the hallway. Little Jane, I don't know what her name was. We're just going to go with Jane and Johnny today. Little Jane, she goes like this. She starts at the shoes, and she looks up, all slow. And she looks over at her friend and snarls her nose and kind of does one of those. That's my best impression. It was freaking ridiculous. I'm telling you right now, if I ever saw my daughter do something like that, she gets lots of freedoms. My kids get a lot of freedoms because we have a contract, and there's certain things they got to do. There's certain things that are non-negotiable, and they know if we, I get fired up if we ever caught them doing something like that. We don't believe in physical punishment. We don't spank. We don't hit. But they know that freaking rug will get ripped so far out from under them that their world would be upside freaking down. Perfect example, my daughter asked me last night, "Hey, Dad, can I invite some friends to the football scrimmage?" I'm like, "Absolutely, freaking fill the car, let's go." And they can stay the night if they want. It's just our way of constantly rewarding our kids when they stay inside the guardrails and follow the non-negotiables. But if she knows if I ever caught something like that, or remotely coming close to the word bullying anybody, are not showing grace and compassion to the people that need it. That person that's sitting over in the lunchroom by themselves, or that person that you can just tell they're struggling a little bit. You never know what's going on in their life. They love to fit in. They love to be loved on a little bit. My kids know that is their responsibility. My mom and dad just drilled that into us. I bet I heard it 365 days a year. I'm not exaggerating. We had to lift people up. We had to light up the planet for somebody every single day. We had to seek out for. There was this disabled girl on our bus. I remember Carrie, and she's always sitting by herself, and just nobody really paid attention to her. I shouldn't say nobody, but you could just tell she was. People are kind of like, what's wrong with her? Man, Carrie and I became good friends. We became really good friends. And I don't think I would have done that by myself. That was mom and dad. That's bam, bam, high five, mom and dad. That's on you. We have our largest job, the most important job we will ever freaking have. I don't care if you're launching space shuttles to the moon. Everybody's like NASA. They always look at NASA as important, or whatever. You're a doctor, a lawyer, freaking. I don't care what job you have. There's no job we will ever have that's more important than providing structure and guardrails and just giving our kids, our youth, the kids you raise in your house, and actually kids that you get to serve, shoring up their foundation, giving them a firm platform. They don't have to be perfect because we ain't perfect. Shoring up that platform so they have more rebar in the foundation. If you guys know, if you don't know about foundations, when we're pouring concrete, we put rebar in there. The more rebar, guess what? The stronger the foundation. Well, that foundation's being built for about 18 years, folks. It's very vulnerable, and then we're pouring concrete, and we can decide we can go cheap, or we can really dive in and put a lot of rebar in the foundation so they got a strong one to stand on. It gets chipped, and the corners get broken off, and they get cracks too. But guess what? The rebar holds it together. Every piece of that rebar is that investment. That 5-minute conversation that you have with that kid, that's another piece of rebar in the foundation as that concrete is drying. It's just an 18-year drying process versus the 2 hours. You guys know where I'm coming from. So we got to put more rebar into that foundation every day. How many pieces of rebar? Can you set aside our crazy busy life? Can we set aside 5-10 minutes and have a real conversation with our kid? Sit down with your kids at night and then dive into them. Invest, put some more rebar in their foundation as it's drying. It will have, I don't think our foundation's never completely dry, but they set up 0 to 18. There's a lot of setting that goes in. And when we do kind of kick them out of the house, that foundation should be relatively structured with some great non-negotiables. And one of them, I'll wrap it up with this. Non-negotiable. You always respect others. You always lift others up. You live, love, laugh, and serve big every single day and make other people feel. I want people in my kids' life to feel that they are there to serve them. And that my kids are seeking out opportunities if there's somebody struggling. And that person over in the lunchroom always eats by themselves, that is your job. And you don't ever stand for anybody in your little clique making fun of them, laughing about them, or even talking about them. You nip that in the bud. And if your little clique disrespects you or starts hating on you, then they ain't your freaking clique anymore. Because the person over there that needs some help, that's your clique today. That's who it's time to go love and serve on. That's living a beautiful life of leadership as a young man or woman in elementary, middle school, high school. And guess what? We slowly change culture. All of a sudden, these people get older, and they just, as I said the other day, they're in the super nice club. We got a few more people in the super nice club just being nice to people. So show up that foundation every day. We got to show up our own. Sometimes, our foundation's not completely dry yet. We got to shove a few more pieces of rebar in our foundation to make it a little stronger as it starts settling in. Much love, all you rock stars. Thank you for tuning in to my crazy videos. I love serving y'all because you serve me. Super nice club. Much love. Light up the planet, everybody.